Poisonrana.
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever podcast app you are using, or
Live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, postmarks. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Sunday. It's the wrestling day.
Yeah.
It used to be the wrestling day. It's gone away from us.
This suits us way better.
Chill Sunday.
I gotta say.
We cooked a nice roast dinner. We threw on some NXT.
It was lovely.
It's a great American bash.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're going to talk all about it. It is our NXT Great American Bash post show here on Post Wrestling. So welcome NXT friends, because we are here to chat all about it, and we thank you for joining us. We're live on the YouTube, like we said. Hello, people in the YouTube chat. Super chats are welcome, not only here, but the newly monetized Poisonrana feed as well over on YouTube. Go find us, search Poisonrana in your podcast app or YouTube. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, and check out all the other stuff that we do.
Yes, we normally go live every Sunday at around 2 p.m. with kind of our thoughts of all the news in wrestling of the week. Do a lot of our time talking about AEW as that's kind of where we discuss a lot of that. All the big news, Dark Side of the Ring, other stuff we've liked on the main roster. That's what we normally do on a Sunday, but NXT was in town this week.
Yeah, well, not here, but down in Texas. In
on,
town for
on
us.
A Sunday, yeah.
So we took this afternoon off, and we decided, since we're coming tonight to talk about some NXT, maybe we'll give some quick thoughts on everything else after we run through this entire show. So we do a lot of other podcasts, and check out all the other stuff we do, but I think it's a post show where we can jump into this Great American Bash.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we kind of mentioned it being on a Sunday, and recently a lot of these events have been on a Saturday. Also, I feel this is the first time for a while it seems NXT haven't tried to kind of counter anything else. You know, like in the past, it's been on the same day as some AEW shows or whatever. And I wonder if it might do well for them. Ratings have been pretty good for NXT over the last few weeks. We've been singing its praises a lot more about how, you know, a lot of these kind of PC people have started to really break through, and you've got a good mix with the NXT UK lot coming in as well. How the quality of wrestling's improved. The storylines have been, there's still some wackiness, but as a whole, they've been pretty logical and building to a climax. And I think a lot of people maybe today, it's Sunday, not much else is on, no other wrestling. See what NXT is doing. And I think they might have picked a good show to come into.
Yeah, it's interesting because next week is SummerSlam, also that's on a Saturday, right? That's a Saturday. But usually, like, they try to do the same weekend, right? So it's kind of refreshing that it is like a little bit of
even those weekends, it might be saturation and people leave it out. So I'd be interested if people are able to use the network, that is.
That is totally true. We are Torontonians. We live in Canada, and we have a great time using the WWE network for not only watching PLEs, but also going back into the archives for other podcasts that we do, like Best Match Ever and Was Next and all these things. But WWE Canada and the network have decided to change kind of their layout, their website,
the interface and everything.
Something going on. You might have to go through like Sportsnet now to access the WWE like catalog, which is totally kind of left field because we pay for the network, and now we can't even access it. And we thought we were alone on this, but a few friends messaged us, including John Pollock from Post Wrestling, who's like, "Yo, I can't even watch this pay-per-view."
So John couldn't get it at all. We were able to, like, I signed up to the network when it first came out, when I was in the UK. So my network, it's still billed to my UK credit card.
Right.
It's on my UK PlayStation that we have. So often it runs off the PlayStation absolutely fine.
Sure.
And runs off we're able to cast it off the computer without even using VPNs or whatever usually.
Yeah.
And then today it wouldn't allow it on the PlayStation at all. Couldn't get it on, like geo-blocked. And then was trying like multiple VPNs and stuff. Eventually managed to get it to work.
Using like AirPlay
From
with the different...
Marseille.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
And then but still wouldn't cast. Had to use
Great.
like mirroring and all that. But John, who pays for Sportsnet now and all that anyway,
Wow,
couldn't get it at all.
That's kind of BS. A bit of a struggle because like we pay for these things, we watch all this wrestling. It's like just get it to work. And next week SummerSlam, I'm gonna say this is gonna go under the radar until next weekend when a lot more people try to do it and it still doesn't work. And then you get a lot more angry people. I guarantee that's what's gonna happen.
Because I remember we used to have Sportsnet Now or whatever it was
it sucked.
to be able to watch NXT without any
Terrible.
streaming issues and things. It kind of sucked.
It definitely sucked.
And then they took WWE off it, and that was like a premium on top.
Yeah.
And for you and I, who we don't watch any other
I watch the
sports,
real sports, NXT.
We might like, if the Raptors are in the playoffs, start paying a bit
bandwagon.
more attention. But like, we don't watch any sport, and it ended up being paying like $40-50 a month to be able to watch NXT once a week. It was crazy. So
yeah, just kind of weird. They're pretty good, and just lately, I don't know. Like I know we're not alone. A lot of people. I quickly searched online as well. A few people were going through it, but I if they don't get it together for next week, it's gonna be a problem. All these Americans listening are like, well, I didn't have a problem.
yeah, I'd be interested to know kind of outside of the US and Canada, places that still have the network if they had any issues, because I imagine the interface has been changed worldwide for everyone with the network, and wonder if there are any issues.
Yeah, so that was kind of annoying,
Yeah.
and might be more annoying for us in the future, in the near future. I mean, we'll be fine.
We have a show called What's Next, guys.
Yeah, we have a show.
Use the network a lot.
We rely on the network for a lot of old like wrestling that we do podcasts on and stuff, and rewatching and stuff. Just this week, we have a SummerSlam 1992 review coming out, and I gotta watch it still.
Yeah, we thought we'd kill two birds with one stone. Cover a SummerSlam and
the Wembley show. So that's coming out this week over on our Patreon, but will it? Because will I be able to watch the WWE Network? So yeah, tune in to find out if we do in fact have access to wrestling.
You're gonna be calling up all those childhood friends, like, do you still have the VHS of SummerSlam 92? Go to some thrift stores and things, and
I remember my next door neighbor. I was one in 1992, but years later for like a SummerSlam, like before the network, there's that WWE like channel that just played stuff.
Yeah,
and my neighbor had that, so I'd watch SummerSlam. Obviously, Brett and Bulldog a whole bunch on that. But yeah, hopefully we can talk about it. But yeah, we're here to talk about the Great American Bash, which we somehow, I guess we have to be American.
We lucked out. Like, I don't know what we'd have done if we had John's issues.
Yeah, I would have pirated it and not felt bad at all. You wouldn't download a card. Remember those? Yes, I would actually. Probably would. So yeah, pirate away, people, if you struggled. I saw a lot of people saying that they did switch to pirating. And there's people in this world that really don't like to do that. And I totally understand. It's breaking the law. However, sometimes you're forced to become a criminal and to become an outlaw. And that would have been one of these days.
Like, I prefer to just pay for it if I know I'm going to get it.
Absolutely.
And be able to watch it. I'm like, it's so stress-free when we're just, we've bought it, we can watch it.
And that's been the problem lately with like that Sportsnet Now, and when we're paying out the ass for this, why isn't it working?
Yeah.
So I get pretty upset, but we still managed, and we MacGyvered somehow. Your Apple TV played it, and we're here to talk about the Great American Bash 2023 from Cedar Park, Texas.
Yeah, it's like a suburb of Austin.
Okay,
like
cool.
kind of.
Nice.
I imagine it's what Hoffman Estates is to Chicago. I think it's that kind of thing.
Okay, cool. There was a kickoff show earlier tonight, kind of showing a few interviews. Rhea Ripley was talking about her match with Dom and how she's going to be in his corner. And then there was an 8-person tag match that we threw on before the show. That was actually pretty cool. The Metaphor with the newly Noam Dar.
Yeah, he woke up again last week, didn't he?
He's woke.
So
Noam Dar found... They basically said, you actually never lost the cup, therefore you're the real champion. It's pretty much the NXT equivalent of the CM Punk storyline. Yeah.
It's going to spray an X on the thing.
Well, CM Punk's title looks like the NXT title now.
It does, yeah.
So the Metaphor fought Nathan Frazer, Dragon Lee, and the team of Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz. And, well, the Metaphor actually lost in this match. But there were some pretty cool spots in there, including Ora Mensa doing a alley-oop.
I love that move.
Remember Big Show doing the alley-oop?
Yeah,
I always
should have kept that.
But I thought Feroz and Valentina actually stood out. We've been huge supporters of these two since day one, and they hit some pretty impressive like dives to the outside.
I love whenever they do that. Like Yulisa, who's the bigger of the two, just launches Valentina to the outside.
Pretty cool.
And obviously, like you've got the likes of Dragon Lee in here, Nathan Frazer. Noam Dar's been really impressing me in this NXT run so far. So yeah, fun match to get the crowd going. I do wish they'd kind of like take care of this women's tag division, because it's such a shame seeing the likes of Yulisa and Valentina, who I think are going to work way better as a unit, as a tag team in NXT and the main roster. And you see people like Kaden and Casey Katana, who we've been watching for years, who are a great tag team, and that division just means nothing right now. And I'd love them to try and rehab it and actually do what they keep on saying they're going to do with this thing, and really have it defended across the three brands. Because I want to see more of these two girls. I think they're awesome, and they'd be. I think they're a team people would get behind. They do flashy moves. They're smiley Brazilian girls. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, We were sold day one, and they're still impressing. Also, the Metaphor. Noam Dar's character was so funny with the Linda McMahon wheelchair thing, but now he's back to being like the wrestler and everything, and really impressed by their entrance as well. But the match ended with Dragon Lee hitting the Destino, or so we have, whatever he calls it, on Mensa for the win. But yeah, I was enjoying that match.
I was kind of surprised Noam didn't win this. Yeah, because I kind of feel we're getting that Nathan Frazer Noam Dar match.
He's gonna beat him,
and maybe and I thought it would have made more sense for kind of momentum for Noam to maybe win this one. But they definitely are high on Dragon Lee as we get to a bit later in the show.
And he did come out with the cup. So there was two cups. Yeah. There's some sort of a two cups joke there that I'm definitely not going to make. But then we kicked off the real show, the Great American Bash, with a video and the voice of Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. He's talking about the Great American Bash and kind of showing clips of the bashes through the years. Then it cuts to, I don't know if you knew this, but he has a son. His name is Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Who also says, hey, the Great American Bash is pretty cool. And this is Texas. Can't get more American than that. So that's Bash.
They're showing a lot of clips from Great American Bash, but it was a lot more WWE.
Yeah.
Like John Cena and Booker T than your classic kind of NWA, WCW days. The best version.
Yeah, like King Booker beating Rey Mysterio. You can't get more American Bash than that, really, honestly. Then we kick off the show with our first match of many, which is a NXT Tag Team title match. We see the screen is full of rats. And if you've been following, you might not... I mean, you will understand, because the whole story of Tony D has been freed by his boy Stax, as they basically tricked Gallus into thinking Stax was actually the rat. Then it turns out that Joe Coffey was the rat. There's a lot of rats here.
So many rats.
Just watch Goodfellas.
Lots of rats in this video.
Yeah, watch The Sopranos. So Tony D is free. Stax is free with him, helped him get out, and now they have a tag team title match against Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sad were you that Wolfgang did not bring out his green do-rag or bandana?
Yeah, that's such a great do-rag. If you were lucky enough to watch our story last week, like
you need to stop sending me that photo at random times of the night.
I don't.
Just Wolfgang close up with the green bandana.
And what's great is it's so green you can like
Photoshop
it.
It's like that Las Vegas eye. Just don't look directly at it. So the Gallus boys, there's a cool, like I mentioned, the entrance with the rats for Tony D and Stax. They come out. Tony D looking pretty jacked. I guess that prison.
What else are you gonna do there?
Right? Yeah.
He was watching Peacock and working out.
Yeah, he didn't have any issues with his connection.
No.
The Gallus boys have a bit of an entrance video where it's like them in like a locker room putting on like footy jerseys with like a green hue. Pretty cool as well. Kind of felt like a PLE entrance.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of feel it made both these teams feel big for this opening match. And I think they've built this story pretty well. Like, we've been waiting for this one-on-one for quite a few weeks now. Well, I mean, he was in prison for 6 weeks, wasn't he?
Long time.
So, yeah, I think good way to open.
Yeah, as silly as a mafia story, the Italians versus the Scots, we have it here. Booker T says that it's Tony D who's free in this world, and it's time to go to work. The two Scotsmen put the boots to Stacks here, tagging in and out. Wolfgang's in, showing his skill because Wolfgang locks in the money clip. Stacks finally evades for a hot tag, jumping over Wolfgang, tagging in Tony D, who comes in. What did I call him all those years ago? The Italian Kurt Angle. He's hitting belly to bellies and suplexes, a huge spine buster here, and then him and Stacks hit the Power and Glory. Is that what?
Yeah,
the FTR?
They've been watching Collision.
The FTR like superplex splash combo. What would be the Italian equivalent of Power and Glory?
Oh, I
Power and Cannoli. I guess it kind of sounds like that, right? Leave the cannoli is what it should be called. So that's a kick out though, as Wolfgang breaks it up. Wolfgang then hits this like running spear rock bottom kind of thing. Actually was pretty impressed by that.
Yeah, it was like kind of a leaping rock bottom.
Pretty cool.
It looked really good.
Then hits a moonsault as well for a near fall. The ref doesn't see Joe Coffey getting involved here with his shillelagh, his Scottish stick thing. Then there's the Gallus bomb, that like spin out boot to the face flapjack
F5 kind of thing.
Looks pretty cool, but it's broken up just in the nick of time. Eventually, Tony D power bombs Mark Coffey into Wolfgang into the steel steps. Very cool here. And then when Joe Coffey tries to run in, Tony D runs at him with that stick and nails him, clocking him.
Yeah,
in
the
the
timing
head.
here was great. He went for his all the best for the bells. He's like spinning lariat, and Tony ducks him, picks up this thing, and cracks him in the head.
Then he helps launch Stacks over the ropes into both guys. They throw Mark Coffey back in the ring, and they hit the bada boom, bada bing, and they hit the 1, 2, 3, and new NXT Tag Team Champions, Tony D and Stacks.
Yeah, I thought this was super fun. Really enjoyed this. I think Stacks has come a long way, and I think this Tony, being in jail has been great for Stacks as coming through as a bigger character on the show. He's been really impressing. Tony, I think, has looked good since coming back. I've enjoyed the character. I haven't always been high on his wrestling. He normally does more of the kind of brawling stuff, but I thought he stepped up here. And Gallus, we've given a hard time a lot, but I think they've really stepped up too. So I feel Gallus are probably ready for main roster at this point.
I'd say,
what else are you going to do with them? And I'd like that. I'd love to see them, trios with the Brawling Brutes and Imperium and stuff like that. I think they'd fit in right there in the kind of main rosters gang warfare
Peaky Blinders kind of thing
exactly.
going on, yeah.
I thought great way to open the show. The crowd were really into everyone here as well. And they weren't all night. Like, I thought at times this crowd sounded awesome and other times a little quiet. But it seemed pretty full there. But yeah, I really enjoyed this opener.
Yeah, Tony D finishing the story, finally winning some gold here. I love that these guys won the gold. As I agree, like Gallus, you can give them a bunch of crap, but they've definitely stepped up and taken the opportunity and not squandered it at all. And like now you're like, yeah, put them on the main roster. They clearly can do this, and I agree with that. But it's also like Tony D and Stacks with the ridiculousness of this story as well for like months, a year, 2 years of just this mafia shit, and now it's kind of paid off. And
they truly own the streets now.
Yeah, they're the streets.
I wonder, we haven't had a Dusty Classic yet this year, and I imagine the next big event is what, Survivor Series time? Probably something. Oh no, we got No Mercy in September. I wonder if that's something we could start building to, because if we are losing Gallus, you might need to start introducing some more teams.
It would be pretty cool. Yeah.
I think you've got Bronco Nima and stuff coming in now.
Schism, if they
Schism, potentially Diamond Mine, if our theory's correct. Yeah. So I wonder if we'll be leading to that soon.
Yeah, but good opening match. Definitely got the crowd into it, and have some. What did Booker T and Vic were like? We're having the pasta, the pizza tonight. They were celebrating.
Yeah.
Booker. I mean. We just need a button so I don't have to say this every time, but Booker was on one tonight.
Yeah. So much, because Vic makes this noise as well. So it's just the two of them. You listen and someone,
No, Vic does that. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Well,
I've grown to love it.
Yeah, I know. It's what's weird. It's just because I watch it. I'm conditioned, I guess. They just got me. Whatever. Our next match is a Weapons Wild match. Are you ready for what's your favorite Weapons Wild match?
This one.
Me too. We go to Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport. I actually like the way they set this feud up, and it doesn't even involve the women's title, so that's even like better. You didn't need, you went like a totally different route, which is Blair was the attacker, revealed all along. She took out all these people. She took out Roxy, but Roxy fought back, and Blair thinks she's just a little kid and says, tonight in front of your somewhat hometown crowd, your family's.
Yeah, look, she's what's her place? It's about 3 hours from here.
Okay.
Her hometown.
Yeah, she's from
Laredo.
Laredo.
Yeah.
So that, remember, she had to take the 4-hour bus
Yeah.
each way.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, then they've been fighting, and then they had a match a few weeks ago on TV where Blair actually beat Roxanne. And then last week on NXT, a little nod to her trainer, Booker. She fought Blair in a grocery store type place, a bodega, yeah. So, which set up this, and then they fought at some convention?
And was so bad at, we didn't see this bit, but she was so badass, she fought off the cops on the way out.
She actually is still wanted.
Yeah.
But it's Texas, so that's how, that's how.
Well, no, she ran away to Texas.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
in Florida.
Yeah. So somehow
Down with the folks.
So Tony D got out, but Roxanne went in, but clearly got out in time for this
Yeah.
pay-per-view is what happened. But Weapons Wild match. Roxanne comes out with some Texas-inspired gear, and we see that her family is actually front row. Specifically,
It's her mum and her sister,
her younger sister as well. Here.
who was the real like third person in this match.
Yes, definitely. So this starts off with Roxy going over and like hugging her family, and then hugging some guy in like a lucha mask. But while she's doing that, Blair runs up through the crowd, like beside that. So it's a little different on the take of wearing the lucha mask, and attacks Roxanne, which kind of starts this match. And there's chairs being brought in right away and trash cans because it is a Weapons Wild match. It's Blair that's like putting the boots to Roxanne. She blocks a tope with the trash can and then yells at Booker T, and he's just like so appalled by this, taking his glasses off, his readers. Then there's a trash can like full of different weapons, and there's a branding iron, a little tip to Terry Funk there, I think, but it doesn't really, I mean, it would still hurt, but it's not like heated up.
I mean, it's solid metal, though,
Yeah.
to whack you with.
So she starts to she puts Roxanne in the trash can and like bangs on it with the branding iron here. The crowd are really hot for Roxy with these chants. Roxanne fights back and starts to like whip her. There's like a bull rope, so she ties her and keeps like Irish whipping her with it. And
yeah, it's with Blair's own belt, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like I thought that was great when Roxanne was coming back. Just an Irish whip that actually makes sense in context because she's attached to it.
Yeah, imagine a real fight with an
And
Irish
also,
whip.
like, you could easily break your wrist doing this.
It looked cool,
Like,
yeah.
I thought it looked really good.
So she's beating her up, and then she because Blair was punching her in front of her little sister, who was getting really emotional, like crying at one point. So when Roxanne fights back, her mom and her sister are just getting so into this. I was like loving the fact that her sister was like just so like.
Her mum looks so like her as well.
Yeah, very
Could have been
similar.
an older sister.
There's then like all these chairs set up, and the Pop Rocks is blocked, and then she gets like thrown or like alley-ooped into the chairs. Blair misses a stomp and kind of eats it on the apron, and then there's a splash from Roxy through a table onto the outside. That was pretty cool. And then back in the ring, it's the Pop Rocks onto the chairs, and Roxanne beats Blair Davenport, and it cuts to her family. They're all ecstatic. Her sister is crying. She's just an emotional wreck. She can't keep it together. But her sister won the match, and that's what matters.
I was in shock. This is kind of hometown
WWE.
family in the audience,
Yeah.
WWE. Roxanne's losing this, right?
No, she's the golden child.
I thought this was good. Like, there's a certain ceiling with a lot of WWE kind of hardcore matches these days, because we see in the other company and other companies how much further people go, and there's still a lot of restrictions in WWE, so it tends to be a bit paint by numbers, kendo stick, trash can. I thought they added some extra elements to this one. I like that they didn't go over the top with weapons. I thought the belt spot was really good, but her sister was Roxy's sister was the real kind of big thing of this match. I thought she got you so much more invested. The crowd fully being behind Roxanne here. I think she did step up, because I think this feud's helped her, because I think she's got something out of this that we really didn't see in the Cora Jade feud, which should have felt more personal. But I like how she's, you know, stepped up, showing she's not the little girl and that she can be tougher. And I think Blair's been a great heel in this story as well. So, yeah, this really paid off for me.
Yeah, it was pretty enjoyable, and I think that's the end to this feud. And Roxanne is someone I'd bring up to the main roster as well, just because she's kind of done it here. What else do you go back to her versus Tiff one more time? Like, I
feel so much on NXT. We go like, well, both these two could go up, really, couldn't they? Yeah. Like, both are kind of ready.
I mean, is Roxanne's little sister going to start taking the bus to Booker T's school and become a wrestler as well? And then they'll do a whole story with that, with, well, my sister, remember the Roxanne in her room? Well, I used to play the video games. Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, Hollywood, you're going to be waiting a long time for new shows and movies to come out. Wrestling's where it's at. The real acting here was just this little girl being like so emotional about her sister.
And they're never going to be in a union, so this isn't ever stopping.
Yeah.
Like a pandemic didn't stop.
Some real
thing. This
great
is what
acting.
You should invest in, guys.
Cinema.
Wrestling cinema, yeah.
Remember Izzy? Move over, Izzy.
Yeah.
We got Roxanne's little sister, who was great here. Well, we went to our next segment backstage. Thea Hale with Chase University. She's getting ready for her NXT Women's Championship. Thea Balboa here doing a little Rocky. She's training. She's getting ready. I needed to see, like, they did that this week with the video, but in that it lacked her chasing chickens and lacked her eating raw eggs.
Yeah, I really want Chase U to still be around by Philadelphia next year.
Right. The Rocky steps.
You've got to have if any act in this whole company are going to do the Rocky steps, it's Chase U.
Everyone's going to do that.
I know.
We're going to
do the Rocky steps.
Yeah, absolutely. We go to our next match. Baron Corbin makes his entrance. I wasn't sure, though.
Biggest baby face in Texas.
Yeah, apparently Cedar Park, Texas.
Cedar Park's own Baron Corbin.
This guy. Okay, so first of all, new theme song.
Yeah.
New gear.
Yeah.
New back tattoo.
I think we did see this the other week when his shirt came off. He's normally in a top.
Is it a ship on fire?
It might have been.
He's really going into this gimmick. So the new song,
an improvement though, in all three aspects, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Well, maybe not the tattattoo, but like the.
I mean, he's already tatted, but yeah, just kind of weird. So the gear he finally looks like a normal, like, I guess, wrestler, right? The theme does say "burn the ships" in like the chorus of it, so clearly that's, I guess, a tie into that. They really want to burn ships, and then what else did I say? I guess that's it.
Burning ships.
Yeah, so he just really fucking hates...
An improvement, and it connected with Cedar Park, Texas.
He just hates sea travel so fucking much. You think this guy goes on cruises? Sir, stop
He's
that.
Not allowed.
Put that fire down. Just in corners trying to burn ships all the time. Well, Baron Corbin, you may know him from such favorite WWE moments as well when he retired gold medalist Olympian Kurt Angle, and here Baron Corbin is having Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson's first ever WWE technically match in ring. So he just lucked out. He just really likes fighting Olympians.
They did bring this up on commentary.
Yeah.
We kind of complained on Tuesday's show that this should have been part of the story.
Yeah.
This should have been in the promos.
So what's the story going to be? How about, you retired Kurt and then like, I'm an Olympian. Yeah. How about burn the ships? All right, let's go with that. All right, cool. So for the first time ever watching wrestling, and I've watched Baron Corbin wrestle for how long has he wrestled for? 8 years?
8 years, I think.
Was this the first ever "Let's Go Corbin" chant? I think so.
It might have
been.
He
might have
maybe,
heard it before.
Maybe
Corbin?
back in, I'm thinking kind of 2014, 2015, where people would count, that gimmick where where it was him and Bull Dempsey. They'd have squash matches and everyone would count and time the matches.
Let's go Corbin.
That's like the most over I remember.
Baron Corbin. Yeah. So I don't know whether this crowd just really love also burning ships, or they just don't really like Gable Steveson.
Yeah. Really interesting, because this is Gable Steveson's first match, and he was playing this completely babyface the whole match. Yeah. This wasn't like Kurt Angle's debut where Vince deliberately wanted him to be hated and was like, go out there and gloat about your achievements and all that. And Kurt was like, that's not going to work. And it did. He became a great delusional heel. This whole match was designed to showcase Gable Steveson as a babyface, and this crowd hated him. And it wasn't like we get, you know, in the CWC where you get pockets, you've got 10 people booing, and therefore it sounds like a lot. This was a lot of this arena, like chanting against
Baron Corbin.
Yeah, chanting for him. They went, "You're not Gable" or something like that, or like
"You're not Gable,"
as in like, you know, Chad Gable. I assume we like more. I don't know whether this is, you know, to do with the fact he kind of came in this company like 2 years ago and has been farting around. It's like, oh, am I going to be here? Am I?
Gotta make my decision.
It's like you got to strike the iron when it's hot, and like we're kind of over it. Or there are like allegations against him as well.
Correct.
And I wonder how much that kind of feeds into this crowd's reaction, but was not what I was really expecting.
Yeah, no, definitely wasn't, and it definitely shocked me. Well, this match happened. Corbin puts the boots to Gable here, but Gable comes back with, Gable Steveson, right? Yeah, I'm like, wait, Chad Gable? Now I'm getting confused.
Sorry, they were saying you're not Angle, according to
You're not
Cena.
Angle?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's not. He's Gable. Yeah. Corbin gets put in an ankle lock, and that's when they chanted, "You're not Angle." And then a German suplex on the floor. That's still probably when they were chanting, "You're not Angle." Corbin, however, fights back and then throws him into the ring post in the ring. And then a second time, like smacking the side of his head against the post for a near fall. Corbin then hits a attitude adjustment, a DVD, a Death Valley driver for a near fall there. And then somehow Steveson comes back. He hits a belly to belly and then a German suplex. The guy can suplex. I can definitely give him that. And then they start to brawl around the ringside. And then I think he gets thrown into the
Booker, I assume.
Yeah, obviously. And then the ref double counts them out as they continue to fight. And then there's like a big pull apart where they're kind of still trying to jump and attack each other and fight each other. They just really hate each other.
Steveson fucking nailed one of these jobber cops in the head.
Yeah.
Like a real stiff punch. I mean, he was doing the suplexes, but the first guy that came up to him was just boink.
And the crowd were booing.
Yeah.
The crowd did not like him.
Yeah, I found this all quite interesting. Like, first thing mainly I was getting from this match is, all right, how's this guy gonna look? How much training he's done? His suplexes look great. Like I like his brother's stuff and got very similar kind of throws from him, and I thought that looked great. The crowd kind of took me out from really getting into this match, and the count out was kind of, you know, I like on these PLEs having proper finishes, but I kind of got into the pull apart after. I thought it was a pretty like good brawl on the outside, and the crowd were getting into it as well. Obviously this is gonna continue, but I wonder after this what they're gonna do with Steveson. Do you lean into this? Is this a one night only thing? Because I can totally see the CWC picking up on this and being like, nah, not this guy.
Yeah, so his brother Damon Kent tweeted, hey, maybe if you trained the right way, you know, maybe you would have won that match. So maybe there is something they'll put them together or something. I'm not quite sure. I can't say this like really hit for me, and I don't like Baron Corbin. I think he had an improvement, if anything, because he had.
I think he looked better around on this, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, why is of all fights that this would be the double count? It's just kind of bizarre way, like your first debut and it's a no finish. So it's like, all right, you could have just beat him, but I guess they're stretching this out, or
yeah, I mean,
it is bizarre. I don't know. I didn't necessarily. I thought this was the weakest part of the show, I think.
In ring, I'd agree, but I found it a really interesting part of the show as well, with this crowd, and I did kind of get into the pull apart after. But
see where it goes.
Yeah.
Well, we go to our backstage area with Lyra Valkyria, and she's being interviewed and asked about her match last week with Rhea Ripley, how she lost to Rhea, but it was a pretty good match. You should check it out. And she says, I want to thank Rhea because she lit a fire under me, and basically saying now she feels ready to fight in the future.
Go for the championship.
Yeah, and this is when she's attacked by JC Jane, and we get another pull apart here as both of them are just trying to get at each other as Rhea and Dom kind of walk by, and Rhea goes, that's what I've been waiting for. So, yeah.
So Rhea's still kind of tied with Lyra here. The JC Jane feud continuing. I always like when they do these like Rhea and Dom are just walking to the ring as this is happening, like the bleed over of segments.
Yeah.
I always quite like. But yeah, we were both a fan of Lyra and Rhea on Tuesday, and if you haven't checked it out, I suggest it, and because we're pretty high on Lyra and interested in what's happening, if Judgment Day is going to be a thing for her down the line or what.
Yeah, the bird lady got her feathers plucked, and now she's a bit more serious, and we kind of like it. And I think she could be. She's one of the better wrestlers.
Yeah, absolutely.
on this roster for sure. We go to our next match. It is a triple threat match for the North American Championship. The new champ, Dirty Dominik Mysterio, Dirty Dom, taking on Wesley and Mustafa Ali. And I could not tell the difference between Ali's theme and Wesley's theme. And I just miss the days of when wrestling themes were like, so like you could right away, like there's certain themes
CFO,
right away.
Jim Johnson,
Man,
like, please,
goats.
just pay those guys.
Yeah, just it's worth it sometimes. So this triple threat happened because Wes and Ali had this match for weeks set up. Dirty Dom is like, hey, let me face you, Wes. And Ali said, what are you, stupid? He could beat you. And Wes is like, it's Dom. And well, when you know it, Judgment Day helped him win. And now this match is a triple threat. And what could go wrong with Dirty Dom here? Clearly, Dirty Dom is a draw. NXT.
100%.
Going up, ratings a little bit going up.
Him and Rhea being on this show. Yeah, absolutely.
One Bill Dom. Punk is a fraud. It's all about Dirty Dom.
It's getting there, isn't it? He's definitely being talked about more, I feel.
Yeah, the Judgment Day is the next bloodline big story for sure. And Dirty Dom just loves that off-white shirt, that purple plaid shirt. He just always wears that shirt. He gives it to Rhea to hold on to ringside as she's there with him. This match starts off. Dom leaves the ring immediately and is like, oh, I'm smarter than you. When Ali chases him and Rhea steps up to him and says, you're not going to do that. And then Wes does it as well. Dom goes in the ring and they chase him and then they just put the boots to him. Didn't you just want to see this visual so badly?
Just them stomping down on him. It's like you feel so many people have been wanting to just
wanted to do this to Dom so fucking badly. So then Ali and Wes finally go at it and we see them like countering each other's moves. They go up top, something big, and Dom comes back in and just dumps both of them to the outside and laughs as the crowd boo him.
I love the when like Wes and Ali were going at it here as well. They try to chop each other and one would duck and Dom would just get hit as well.
Yeah, I just love that like they were doing whenever there's like the two baby faces and they're like, we want to fight you. No, I want to fight him. And it's like, fuck off, we're fighting now. And so Dom was just being used here, but then gains advantage. He goes for the three amigos, but keeps getting blocked. Finally, there's like a double three amigos there. Then Ali and Wes again going at it, and Ali hits this crazy like diving tornado DDT.
Wes like flipped off his head on this.
Absolutely bonkers. There's then a Boston Crab camel clutch combo from Wes, where he has Dom in the camel clutch, but at the same time, the Boston Crab on Ali. This was impressive. However, Dom finally gets out of it by biting the thumbs of Wes. There's then a 450 miss by Ali to the apron.
Yeah, this was crazy. So Dom and Wes were like draped across the rope, but on the outside.
Yeah.
And so Ali, and he was, what made it scarier for me was he was kind of removing padding from the turnbuckle to try and get better balance and hit this 450. And they didn't replay it, because he just ate shit on this thing.
Yeah, he just disappeared.
I mean, it was the planned spot, but it looked horrible.
Yeah. Wes goes for a dive, but is it the ref that stops him or Rhea that stops him from like doing the dive? So then he does it anyways over the top.
It's the Rey Mysterio spot over the ref, but Rhea playing the role of the ref here, and it worked, being that it's to Rey's kid.
Yeah, I wonder how that spot came into play because we recently did two podcasts a few months back. Best match ever is looking back at Rey Mysterio, and he would do this spot a lot. So Wes here doing it is pretty funny.
I can see it, Wes being like, hey, Dom, how about we do that spot your dad did with the ref? And Dom's like, sorry, what spot?
What spot? Sorry?
What spot?
Yeah, cool. Let's do that. I'll fall down. So he gets him back in the ring. No, sorry. Wes hits this and is like, haha. But the ref is like distracted now or is looking away for reasons. And Rhea riptides Wes through the announce table. Oh my god.
Yeah, she got Wes up and like it drove him through it. It wasn't like dropping him. It drove him through it. Looked awesome.
She rolls him in the ring.
This might have been the loudest the crowd got all night, or one of the loudest. This pop was huge for Rhea here.
And to follow is she rolls him in, and the ref finally sees Dom going for the pin, counts it 1, 2, and is a kick out. The crowd erupt. Dom is just shook. So he distracts the ref, and the title's there. So the ref goes to dump that again. She gives Dom her championship, and he then nails Wes with it, and then pins him, and then kicks out again. So the crowd, and I definitely were biting on this.
And this was the spot how Dom won it with the double title switch thing.
Spot, right. So while all this is going on, Ali finally comes in there, and he beats up on Dom. He puts Dom in like a tree of woe, like inadvertently, and then hits the 450 on Wes. And as he goes for the pin, Rhea pulls Ali out of the ring, allowing Dom to hit the frog splash on.
It was a nice looking frog splash.
It was one of his better ones. Yeah. Dom nails Wes, pinning him to retain the North American Championship. And you can hear the boos. Everyone is just so mad. He did it again.
I loved so many things about this match.
Yeah.
I was satisfied. I still do want the singles match, but we got some really nice Wesley, Mustafa Ali kind of sequences in this, which was great. The crowd hate Dom so much. This character is so good that whenever he got the shit kicked out of him was so entertaining. And I love how he's not very good. But it works. And in the case of this story, it's like these two guys who are like, this guy isn't on our league. We're so much better than him. But I used to play tennis, and I'd always get so frustrated when I'd play someone who I know is not as good as me, but they're just, miss-hitting the ball and it causes a drop shot and things like that, and just lucking their way. And then you get mad at yourself because you're losing against this guy and you know you're better than them.
Right.
That's what Dominik Mysterio is.
Yeah. He's a Nepo baby.
Yeah, but it works. Like, if he was incredible, it wouldn't be this character. Whereas I think the fact he's a little bit shit, but he knows enough to be able to still do a match and everything. Like, he's not fish out of water out there, but just not on these guys with the league. Rhea's so over as well. I thought just all the kickouts with Wes, repeating the spot where he lost the title and still kicking out, and then eventually just too much put him down. I think you can move Wes away from this division now and maybe put him into mellow contention.
Okay, nice.
Because he got well and truly fucked out this time.
Yeah, he
didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So I think he still saves a bit, even though he was the one to take the pin here. But I just thought it was so much fun.
And I mean, there still is a gripe, I guess, with Ali and Wes, because it's like, you two, they're the ones kind of beefing, sort of. So I would like to still see that singles match, because I love this match. I really got it. This is my second favorite of the night.
And I think having Judgment Day on across just all three brands at the moment is working. They're so hot. I think NXT is definitely on the way up at the moment, and if they continue to have Dom featured in this, I wonder if they book a SummerSlam match at all. It feels a bit rushed to do so.
I mean, maybe Dom I'm sure Dom will be on the show somehow, but I don't think the NXT title at this point now.
But do you see this being defended much on main roster as well? I would think so. Maybe
like a Raw or SmackDown, but it's possible. Yeah, I guess we'll find out. But it is interesting. In a way, it is having him in NXT. Like, the character can still be on the main roster, but having him work matches with work rate guys,
longer matches with these guys.
Maybe he will get better. So
it
is he is kind of in NXT school right now, but kind of not. So it's like when I was in college, right? I was in college, and then through right at the beginning of my second year, I got a job when everyone got an internship, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we're still going to school." But I'm like, going to the job. I'm kind of getting paid a little bit, but I'm still going to school. It's kind of if you have him on NXT, maybe the wrestling can get a lot better secretly, and then whatever. I'm sure he'll still be just as dirty in the ring, I guess. Well, that was a fun match. We go backstage. We see Trick Williams is with Mackenzie being interviewed. And she says that, there's some issues with you and Dragunov and Mello with the whole thing last week. And he says he calls Cap on Dragunov, saying he doesn't know our friendship. Me and Mello go back, and he names some references. He was talking really fast, but I know he mentioned something about LeBron James.
I think it was local sports team stuff.
Local sports
I think
teams.
so. I think it
Yes.
was local sports team
Go
stuff.
sports. I know who LeBron James is, though,
Yeah.
so I caught that name, so I'll tell you that. Then he says that, like, it doesn't matter because, like, our friendship is there and I'm going to be in his corner. I'd say this was kind of like a red herring of, like, him inadvertently getting hot-headed to cause, because they kind of were going with that story, right?
Yeah, that's what they set up last week. Yeah.
That's why I assumed this was for. Vic Joseph shouts out the band 100 Gex. Not like the video game N64, that little lizard,
Gex.
which was sick, but I wish. But 100 GECS for the song Hollywood Baby.
Oh, thanks.
Nice. Thanks, 100 Gex.
Yeah.
They should bring
Hollywood
back
Baby.
Gex. Should come back for like a remaster. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Sorry, was it called Hollywood Baby?
The song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Texas. Cool.
Is that Hollywood Baby?
Well, Hollywood's California.
Yeah. Texas is close.
It's all right. It's not.
We go to our next match. It is time for some Chase U. Is that in Texas? The University
Chase
of
U
Chase
is wherever
U.
you want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. Thea Hale, the challenger, facing Tiffany Stratton, the NXT Women's Championship, who is the champion, who's putting the title on the line right now in a submission match. So these two had a title match weeks ago. Thea basically tapped out Tiffany when the ref was not looking, was down, and somehow still lost the match. So she had a bit of a gripe and then wanted a rematch. Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, Chase U, the whole gang were like, yeah, you made her tap out. So Tiffany agreed, and then got put in the Kimura again, which Thea may or may not have learned from Dempsey and Gulak, and which set up this rematch, which is a submission match for the title here. We have Thea coming out with her Chase U. We got Duke with the MVP trophy and Andre Chase, who's back. It's good that he's been missing for a little while. I know he's been back.
Chase, you needed him.
Yeah, we needed him here. And then the champion, Tiffany Stratton. I mean, she goes by the buff Barbie. She definitely meant that here tonight with the Barbie-inspired entrance, which we definitely called.
Yeah,
week.
this was stereotypical Barbie, and Thea was more like sporty cheerleader Barbie.
Something like that. Yeah.
And we had our two Kens on the outside.
Yeah, Andre Chase and Duke.
Yeah.
Tiffany looking good with this whole pink. The Tron was in the front. We were like discussing it's gonna look like that, and they literally did that. The pink cowboy hat and everything here in Texas, looking good. So this match starts off, and both are kind of countering each other's moves. It's Stratton who starts putting the submission moves on early with this like Mexican surfboard, and it's Thea who's like countering moves into her own submissions. She has like an arm bar, tries to go for the Kimura. Eventually it's Tiffany who's working the lower back of Thea and like starts putting the boots to it, puts her in the post and like bending her. There's like an inverted like Mexican surfboard. I guess is that just I forget which one is which, but she has like her knees up and she's just bending her like the bow and arrow type move.
Oh, the bow and arrow.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And like again, just grinding on the back. She does the handsprings into the like elbow into the back into the corner again. Thea starts to come back here and hits a series of strikes and hits this like an exploder that puts Tiff like almost on her head here.
This is where it started to get a bit scary because there were a few of these
dodgy
exploders and northern lights where they landed okay, but it was very close a few times to being quite dangerous. I thought.
Thea counters a few of Tiff's moves into these like fast arm drags and then goes for this like jumping springboard move, but gets caught into these leg scissors from Tiffany. Thea eventually gets out of that, puts her in a like side headlock, and runs up the ropes and hits the Stratisfaction from Thea. Looked great, but Tiffany, it's not a pin. She can't pin her in this match, so she keeps trying to go for other submission holds. Thea goes off the top for this crossbody, but gets blocked and countered into an exploder into the corner from Tiffany, and then they're both going up top, and somehow Thea hits the flux capacitor, something off the top row, like another one of these
exploder,
another one of these exploders off the top, which was just nuts.
This was Thea hitting it to Tiff,
I think so.
And you could see just Tiff was like trying to get her balance. Like they never got their balance before hitting this.
Right.
And it kind of reminded me of that Logan Paul Ricochet spot recently, where it was like, fuck it, we're going to do it anyway. And this was maybe the scariest bit. She landed very close to her head here. And yeah, it just didn't look like she was set to really take this move.
There was a few times so then eventually it's Tiff who comes back and hits the prettiest moonsault ever to the back of Thea, and then puts her in a Boston Crab, kinda, and then eventually gets it in, and Thea is trying to reach for the ropes, and Andre Chase and Duke are screaming at her, and she pulls her back, and eventually finally puts her into, she struggled a bit, but put her into the, like, more of the lion tamer, like the knee to the back, looking real vicious here. And Thea, again, who was just screaming, ow, and all these things, when Andre Chase throws in the towel, costing Thea Hale the match here by, I guess, what do you, by towel throw, Tiffany Stratton, technical submission, I guess, winning this match, retaining the women's championship.
I found this one interesting. I thought it did have quite a few issues with it. There were quite a few sort of hairy moments, some few botches. There was like that tope suicida early that was kind of a bit whiffed, and as we mentioned, a lot of those exploders, even with the Boston Crab at the end, like they were doing it where she locks it in, you're doing the tease for the ropes, and like I don't know if it was sweat or what, but Tiff kept on just losing grip, and in that moment, really, Thea should have scurried to the ropes and got it, but they kind of just laid there and let her reset. And it seemed like she was trying to get that knee, but like just didn't quite have her in position. That being said, all those issues aside, I really enjoyed the story of this match, and I think these two characters have Thea especially is pretty green, I think, but I've seen improvements from both, and I think these two are only going to improve. They're both so young. And I actually enjoyed the storytelling of the match, especially with Chase throwing the towel in at the end.
Well, we're watching this together, and as she's in the Boston Crab towards the end, I turned to you and I was like, "It's got to be Duke throwing in the towel, right? Don't say it not be so." And then as I like finished saying that, it's Chase that does it. So that makes it a bit more interesting.
Well, I think what's interesting as well is commentary throughout the match was saying okay, like, Chase, you're out here, but it's Dempsey and Gulak who got her and trained her and taught her this Kimura. And this whole time, it's been Chase has been away. And, you know, Duke's been teaching her not to give up, and they've been teaching her to be tough. And the guy who's been away for the last few weeks is like, no, she can't do this. So throws it in.
Yeah, I mean, this whole storyline is Duke. Like,
so now Duke's going to be the one. I believed in you. I didn't throw in the towel.
Wow.
The other moment I liked was the fake tap.
Yes, the hand graze, as she said in her promo the other week. She said, "I never tapped. My hand may have grazed the mat," but so she did that like a fake tap almost. Yeah.
Which I think Walter did that recently. Where it
he's
was
done
like,
it before, no?
Yeah, where he's done like the two taps, but it's like him trying to get, and he's like, no, that wasn't a tap. I kind of like that.
Well, you know, she's been hanging out with Imperium, so she's been trained by Imperium.
That is true. But yeah, I enjoyed this, but there were definitely issues with it.
Yeah, I completely agree. There was some really good stuff, and there was some not so good. But I do love Tiffany. I love Thea too. They said this was the youngest like NXT Women's Championship match. I think
it might be the youngest match.
Like Thea is 18 and Tiff is like 24 or something like that. Yeah. So like pretty young here. But I thought they're both pretty good. And Tiffany, we said we predicted that she would retain because it just makes sense. But eventually, when they decide to put the rocket to her on the main roster, I do think she'll be ready, especially with a longer title run here. You know, going through some of the missteps or whatever. Like I think she'll definitely be. Still...
Well, I think Lyra's probably the big one, right?
I guess she beat her already, but
yeah, but I think you could now. She's had that Rhea rub. You know, she's leveled up.
Yeah, because I see Stratton like as the next Charlotte. I see her beating Charlotte to kind of become the new like blonde buff Barbie of WWE. We go to a backstage segment. It shows Valentina, Feroz, Yulisa Leon, Dragon Lee, and Frazer. And they're really happy about their win earlier. And they see Rhea Ripley and Dirty Dom. And they call Dragon Lee the wannabe Rey Mysterio. Because Dragon Lee and Rey had a bit of a moment. Was it on Smack? I hope Rey Mysterio's okay, by the way, from that dirty spot on Friday. That looked really bad. They say Dragon Lee's a wannabe, and Dragon Lee's like, whoa, you're calling me Rey Mysterio? That's not really an insult because he's like the best ever. So, okay, Pero. And I have my own story, unlike you, who just, you're just following in his footsteps and, dirtying the Mysterio name. He says, I made the Mysterio name relevant since I won this title. No one knew about them before me. And Rey Mysterio is just a deadbeat and kind of walks off. So maybe Dragon Lee will be the one to take the North American title from Dirty Dom.
Yeah, and this is where I maybe see it potentially being on like SmackDown or something. The fact that they had that thing with Ray endorsing him or whatever.
Dirty Dom, Dragon Lee for the North American NXT Championship.
Or this could be, does this stretch out to No Mercy?
True. Yeah. Are we going to do a retro No Mercy that week in September?
Which one? Like, what classic? I mean, it's the best game, but I can't think any No Mercy spring to mind.
05.
What was what was it? Tell me the main event.
Okay, hold on. Don't rush me here. Eddie Guerrero Batista. Eddie Guerrero's last pay-per-view match.
You're right. You are right. Yeah.
Batista beats him with a spine buster. 1, 2, 3.
Wikipedia doesn't say, but yeah.
I
Got Randy Orton and Bob Orton versus The Undertaker.
Oh, is that the
casket
the
match.
bleeding one? No, that's the other
That's
one.
the cell.
Oh, that's when they light it on fire. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, okay.
Nice. Simon Dean on the card?
Simon Dean, probably.
No Mercy. SmackDown's pay-per-view.
He faces Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, and a hamburger eating contest or something, right? Yeah,
Just a singles match.
There's something to do with hamburgers, something somewhere. That was the lead up.
We're not doing this show.
Yeah. So you want 04 with the last ride match with The Undertaker and JBL. Look at that. I could be BDE champion here. Frank, what are we doing? Give me a rematch.
Wow.
Am I right? Last ride match?
I'm having to look through these. Okay.
Undertaker JBL, I think, was 04. I could be wrong, but yeah. What's your favorite No Mercy moments at Poisonrana? Best match ever, No Mercy. Will we even be able to look back without having the network in Canada? But who knows? But yeah, No Mercy, September 30th.
You had the Undertaker Brock biker chain match and Hell in a Cell match. Yeah.
Or is that 02? 02 is the cell match. 03 is the chain match.
That's right. Yeah.
The cell match is awesome. Yeah. Let us know what we'll probably do a poll. But yeah, NXT No Mercy is September 30th.
Rock Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good. That's
Triple
01.
H Stone Cold. Yeah.
Nice. No Mercy's had some good stuff.
Yeah.
And the game, obviously. We'll just play the game. We'll just review
play
the
the game.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that'll be the next PLE. Is that a Saturday?
Oh, Los Conquistadors versus the Hardy Boys in 2000.
Yo,
I love that feud.
Yeah, that feud is lit.
Thank you, Leone, in the chat.
So this is they're going to California for this one, and that means it's like what, like it's earlier in the day or something. It's a weird one, right?
Oh no, normally they do it. It's early in the day there. It'll still be 8 Eastern.
Oh, so
Yeah.
what's the difference there? Like,
So it'll be starting there probably at 5. It'll
okay,
be 5 p.m. California time, I imagine, and 8 p.m. Eastern.
okay,
They normally keep it 8.
right,
Yeah.
all right, nice, all right. Yeah, it says Saturday at 4:30 p.m., which I guess is their time.
4:30. Is that?
Yeah,
That's a weird time.
but I guess that's for like California.
3 maybe. Yeah.
Well, that's
Cool.
we'll be covering it eventually, somehow, some way, in a month or so, 2 months, I guess. Well, we see a clip from last week on NXT, and it's the Schism, and they're really upset because they have a wolf in sheep clothing. They think one of their followers is a turncoat, and it's them. No, it can't be them. They're gone. The Rock's daughter. Fantastic. And they say that this Tuesday, they're going to have the Schism interrogation live on NXT. They're going to line up all these followers, and one by one, they're going to unmask them until they find out who these turncoats are.
Wouldn't you just not go to work that day?
Like, I'm just not going to show up.
Yeah.
Right, so
Or like, how are they going to find out? They'll unmask them and what? And if it is the Creeds, just be like, hey lads, like ask your friends. You want to show up?
it's them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be, who haven't we seen for a while? Should be Ikemen Jiro and
Jacket time.
yeah. Just be Jack. It's Breezango.
we're about to talk about one of the best NXT matches in like recent memory. Definite like contender of WWE match of the year for sure. But like, remember, me and you and I, Davey, we've been here through the thick and thin. We've been here through 2.0. We've been here through Jacket Time. We've been here through Jiro hanging out in the bathroom for whatever reason, so that we walked so all of you could run to watch the good shit and hear us talk about we were there. You weren't there, but I feel like people are finally coming back to NXT.
Yes,
and it's all thanks to Dirty Dom. But maybe it has something to do with this match, our main event of the evening for the NXT Championship. The champion Carmelo Hayes putting it on the line against Ilja Dragunov in a match everyone has been anticipating. Ilja, the challenger, comes out first, making his epic entrance with some red eyes.
Yeah, he's had these before for big matches, but
it's like a shark's eyes.
I want to know, like they kind of said later that when he comes out seeing red and everything. They should explain that it actually is a filter. So this is no, but wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Whereas like when I put this on and everything's red, I don't give a fuck. Like I'm just gonna kill you.
He's already a terrifying looking guy, an intense dude, but having like the red contacts is definitely a cool like
zoomed right in on them. Look kind of cool.
Yeah. Again, like a shark. Then we have Carmelo Hayes' entrance. It starts with the voice of Dusty. Sorry, not Dusty Rhodes. It's Get a Dream. Hold on. Yeah, sorry, Dusty Rhodes. Get a Dream. I was like, is it Martin Luther King? The Dream. Different Dream here, but American Dream. Dusty Rhodes. And Shoot for the Sky. And then it has this like the banner that we see from Carmelo Hayes on his pay-per-view entrances here. Looks pretty cool as it drops down and it says him as the pyro goes off. And out comes Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams here. Crowd is super hot for Melo.
Didn't do the jersey,
which I thought was a little bit of a sign to come. If you didn't do the jersey, that means he ain't getting the job
maybe
done.
Or whether it was more of a babyface thing, like a respect thing. I don't know.
Maybe he'll do it on
Tuesday.
The next time he'll have the jersey up there for sure. But yeah, jerseys on the rafters. So the crowd really hot for Carmelo Hayes here. It almost like he's the hometown boy. This starts off with Dragunov just absolutely grounding Melo. He keeps coming at him. Melo starts to grind him. He does the like forearm, like rubbing
it's
it.
just dirty, isn't it?
What was the Kenny Omega one where it's like he shaved his arm and then waited for the sharp still? It's like the Tokyo Chainsaw. Yeah. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe that's why he was doing it here. A little nod. Because imagine if it was freshly shaved, that would hurt. Melo now putting the boots to Ilja here and hits and connects with his flying clothesline. Always looks good. And then sends him out with a pump kick to the outside and kind of starts taunting him like, I'm the champ, like I'm bringing it to you. And Ilja's like, all right. He goes for another springboard but gets caught with a German by Ilja. And then Ilja just lights him up with chops. Like Melo's chest was just getting so red in this match here. He then gets slapped in the face and Melo goes down like a bag of potatoes, but he like slapped him in the ear and he starts to like, oh, like my
rocked
ear
him.
And Trick's like, yo, you good? And he's like, I don't think I am. And I mean, I don't know if you've been catching up on the G1, but Tai Chi beat Ospreay because of the ear injury.
Exactly.
So
it's a good spot. I like when they do things like this. I like when they do the liver shot that kind of just rocks you, and it's something like this. It can change the momentum quite quickly.
Dragunov on the attack hits another deadly German suplex, and then like the what does he call that running rope lariat thing? That
Constantine's special.
Yeah, that looked awesome. Just wrecks him here. Melo tries to come back with a series of kicks, and then hits his running satellite the satellite face buster. But this one, like Dragunov, is just one of the best sellers, and he made this move look so deadly, but kicks out of it. He then has Melo in one corner and then climbs the other, and he's going for his like coast to coast, but in midair Melo catches him with this code breaker that just sends him bouncing. Another great sell from Dragunov.
Yeah, Ilja goes flying and basically lands on his head. As he just like bounces and boom.
Yeah. Oh man. And then not to be outdone by Melo actually connecting with that springboard DDT, sending Dragunov into the Shadow Realm here, but still kicking out of this move.
I love this move. He kind of, he's springboarding backwards into the DDT, but recently when he's hit this, he's kind of just landed on their head, almost sat on their head as he drives them down. It looks great.
Yeah, somehow he kicks out of that and comes back. He levels Melo again, and again, Melo's chest is like red, blue, purple. It's just so messed up here. Eventually, there's a senton off the top, and then Melo kicks out of that. Melo then goes for his springboard clothesline again, but in midair gets or is this the
this
code
is the
break?
nothing but net.
Oh right,
into
that's
the- yeah.
right. The nothing but net, the leg drop, like guillotine leg
finish.
drop, yeah, off the top, and gets countered into a power bomb, sending him to the depths of hell. And great call from Vic Joseph. He went for the nothing but net, but all he found was nothing because he got destroyed here.
This he landed like right on the top of his shoulders. Like this looked one of the deadliest power bombs I've seen for a while.
And not to be outdone by the then elbow strike, the falling bomb from Dragunov. I think the only critique I have of this move is this is a super finisher.
We said this before, but this is like the Hidden Blade.
Yeah.
The Hidden Blade is deadlier than the Stormbreaker in my mind.
Exactly, yeah.
Like this should be the finish.
I don't understand how this is not a like instant KO of
It's
a move.
like
It
this
looks
is
so
you
good.
hit this and the ref runs in and you call it. Like
He hits this on
Oh.
Melo, and it looks great. It sounds great. Just the crowd gasp, and they gasp again when Melo somehow kicks out of this at a 2.9. Ilja finally looking frustrated, and he's just insane. They start going to the turnbuckle, and Ilja puts him up, and he's going for a superplex. But in midair, Melo counters this into a cutter, one of his other patented moves, but this time off the top. This is great, but Ilja once again kicks out. This is when Trick on the outside is like kind of in Melo's corner, like holding the title, like, look, this is what you are. You're the champ.
I really like this because he goes to get the title from like the timekeeper,
Yeah.
and you're thinking, oh, he's gonna try and interfere or something, but he's showing it to Melo. It's like, you call yourself a champion or are you just a fraud? Like he's being quite like brutal with
Get in
him to
there.
wake him up and
Come
be
on.
like, come on.
Dig deep.
But nice like subtle tease as well that is he
Gonna do
gonna
something.
cost
Is he gonna
it for
cost him
Melo
the title?
potentially?
Yeah, exactly. Well, eventually Ilja like runs off the steps for this like headbutt to the outside, but Melo moves out the way and he hits the running Moscow headbutt thing to Trick, who just happened to be holding the NXT title. The ref didn't really necessarily see that, as Melo then rolls Ilja in the ring. He's looking a little like, well, I gotta do what I gotta do, and then climbs to the top and hits the nothing but net, but this time gets everything. And 1, 2, 3, Melo does not miss yet again and retains the NXT Championship in one hell of a match in 24 minutes, 7 seconds.
Neither of these guys miss.
Yeah.
This was awesome. I loved how Dragunov kind of pulled Melo into a Dragunov style match. So Melo was laying in thick with those elbows and chops, and
Kicks.
some of his chops sounded better than Dragunov's. I thought in this one.
I mean, Dragunov's chest was not nearly as
No,
red.
no, but I like how it was kind of 80% Dragunov in this match, 20% Melo, because it was just him killing him, but Melo kind of always finds a way to win, and like it's also continued this. They've started these teases with Trick, and I think the fact that Melo didn't check on Trick at all when he's down, he went right to Dragunov, like did the job what he needed to do, which was what he should do. But I could see that playing in like, dude, you didn't even like see if I was okay. That kind of thing.
I feel like it was the whole like kind of a red herring of it. Will
I do,
something
but I
happen?
think there are like just seeds being planted in it now.
Well, I see Dragunov being a bit pissed as well. I mean, you could rematch this, which would be pretty crazy. But at the same time, is it like Melo seems like the baby face? But I mean, he won the title cheating and then like turned baby face.
You could redo this again, and you could have Trick banned from ringside or something like that to have like a definitive
Cage
winner.
match. Fight pit.
But I thought this was an awesome match and truly lived up to being a main event here.
Yes, absolutely. This was one of the best NXT matches since I can remember. Definitely better than any TV match, and they've had some really great TV matches in the last few months.
I don't know how you can not get into Dragunov. Like every match he has, just his intensity, just how real, and it probably really hurts being in the ring with this guy.
I guess you got to really like put your socks on for this. You got to put your working boots on for this guy, man.
But I thought this really delivered. I'd be interesting, as I mentioned earlier, like potential challengers for Melo, you could absolutely rematch this if Dragunov feels he has a gripe. I think Wes Lee could certainly move into this, and Wes Melo, I'm trying to remember if we saw that for the North American or not. Like, but sure, if so, I can't really remember. I think a more substantial PLE match between those two would be good. Braun's still in the picture, and that's why I kind of saw a champion.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the right way. Ilja is someone just so special. Like you just get sucked into whatever he presents, and he puts it all out there. I mean, the crowd were not really supportive of him when he came out. Like there were some cheers and people who know who he is and stuff. But I'm going to assume there was a lot of people there who maybe just went, "Oh, it's WWE's in town. I'm going to go here." And they didn't really know who he was. And then like by halfway through the match,
Melo's been on TV a little bit recently.
So they were really supportive of him. But by like halfway through this match, they were like, "Oh no, this guy's nuts. This guy's awesome." And the crowd really woke up. And I love when that happens in wrestling. And this guy can control a crowd and just control so much emotion and storytelling within a match. He makes things look so believable. And I thought Melo matched that. I think this was Melo's best match.
Yeah, and certainly best match as champion.
Oh yeah,
definitely. No, I agree. And Melo's really delivered. He's had so many good matches. During his time as, like they said, 3-time champion, and I forgot because he unified those. The cruiserweight title, didn't he?
Right,
so I've been enjoying NXT recently. I think it's definitely taken steps forward. I think the main roster integration has really worked for it and given it a bit of an injection of life as well. And the wrestling's really been delivering. People are stepping up. And there are plenty of characters, I think, ready to move up. And more characters in the wings ready to kind of step up as well. Like, this is back to what I enjoy. Good quality wrestling, but also that developmental eye on it and seeing, like, who is going to be the future? Who is going to be your next Charlottes and Baileys and whatever? And I thought this was, once again, a really top to bottom, pretty entertaining show.
Yeah, I think it's clear as day that the main event was the match of the night, 100%. And I don't think anyone would argue that, but I still really enjoyed everything else. It kept my attention. It was really entertaining, and it paid off to a lot of stories that were kind of happening. Had
a nice pace to it as well. It was about, 2 hours 20, 2.5? Yeah. About, just a little longer than a regular NXT episode, but without your commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I was really high on this show.
But is like these people wrestle in front of the same crowd of only a few people every week in that PC crowd for NXT. So finally going out on the road, that's what gets you, making towns is what makes people, right?
Exactly. And it's interesting to see what other towns do think of people.
Right.
Because it is the same crowd every week and they have their favorites and things. And hearing obviously Austin are going to be big for Roxanne, but hearing them really into Melo, hearing them really not being into Steveson,
really into Baron Corbin,
really into Corbin.
Maybe we see Melo. I thought I was on the same page. I actually thought Ilja would win it, so because of the whole Melo kind of tease with Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
the hurt profits. What is it called? The street business.
The hurt street business. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're doing this integration thing. You've got Dom as North American champion in Judgment Day on Raw. Why can't you have Melo as NXT champion in this unit on SmackDown?
Fair, okay.
For 6 months or whatever until he moves up. I like that. I like the bleeding over and having, have it more of a kind of New Japan style stable where you're all under this umbrella, but you're not necessarily a unit all the time. You kind of go off and do your own thing. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. They've already kind of done. They've seen that it worked with the Bloodline and now Judgment Day and the Hurt Locker. That's what I kept calling them. The Hurt business, before it was working, and they kind of messed that up. But I think they are realizing that this helps with stories when stables and factions or whatever. It definitely makes sense. But I also I love this show, and I was expecting Melo to win because I was expecting maybe a call up soon. I could say the same for Braun, but it sounds as if he's sticking around. There was a promo kind of video.
He's got his Von Wagner match to have, doesn't he?
That could be his goodbye. It could be a send off, get powerbomb through a table. I don't know, but there's a few names that I'm okay, the Creeds we assume are coming back from the loser leaves town match.
Yeah, seems that way.
Those guys are definitely I can't wait to see them on the main roster, but you're thinking Gallus as well, maybe, possibly. There's a few other.
But I'd also rather them all doing stuff on NXT for now, like, if they don't have something for them. Like,
Right.
they need to, all these people, once you move them up, they need to have something established, because otherwise you become hit row. You know, like, who remember how high we were on them
in NXT.
in NXT?
Yeah.
So I'd rather them, or even I think he's injured, but even a Johnny Gargano, like, what's he been doing?
Apparently he just wrestled the other day.
Really?
So
Okay,
we
so-
could have gotten that match. SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Now there's other injuries. And
Shall we go to some feedback?
yes, that's some things that we thought about this show. But we have a Poisonrana Facebook page that leads you to the Poisonrana Facebook group. Join the group. We post feedback threads and fun things like this, and we'll read them here. And go for it.
Sure. We go to Dylan, who says, the plague of Gallus as champs is over. Should have ended months ago. The crowd hating on Gable was hilarious. The non-finish was a bit upsetting, but the post-match brawl was actually quite fun. Still think his first match should have been a squash. 2 different matches had bits that made no sense given the rules. Rope breaks in a submission match, and the ref distraction spot in a triple threat. Both pointless. I disagree, because a submission match, you have to submit them in the ring.
Right.
If a part of your body's touching the rope or under the ring,
rope.
you're out of it.
Yeah,
So
that's always been a thing.
you don't need to break the hold, but you can't win the match.
Yeah. No, that's always been a
Yeah.
thing of submissions and stuff.
And ref distraction spot in a triple threat. Yeah.
I think Dylan's just mad Dom retained.
Yeah. Both pointless. I did like Chase throwing in the towel, but Tiffany botching the hold took me out of it a bit. Hayes and Dragunov had a brutal match. Surprised that Hayes won. Hopefully Ilja is headed up.
Yeah, and there's another name, right? I'm saying, hey, I thought Melo was going up. Well, Ilja, you just have him versus Walter, and everyone will know what the hell's going on at that. So I mean, yeah, he lost. I mean, what else is there to do? Maybe that is something. After Drew loses to Gunther at SummerSlam, you just have Ilja come out and be like, yo, I'm here now. So
I'd love that.
yeah, do it. We go to Fire Frank, who writes in, have to give a shout out to my boys Tony D and Stax for showing what Vin Diesel taught us many times. Nothing beats family. What a great payoff for a ridiculous yet somehow amazing storyline. Solid show all around, with Roxanne and Blair beating on each other with various plunder as her little sister looked on in fear. Dirty Dom defied the odds again. What a goat. Corbin was over and burning ships in Texas. Heartbreaking loss by Thea. How could you, Mr. Chase? How could you? Main event was an epic war. Carmelo easily had the end match of his reign, and probably NXT run period here. These two left it all in the ring. Many scary bumps. Wow. Hot show, hot crowd. Dusty would be proud.
Hey, that rhymed.
Very nice, Frank.
We go to Sean, who said, these NXT live PLEs just keep getting better and better. Great show tonight. The pre-show 8-man match was a whole lot of fun and gave everyone a chance to step up, especially Valentina and Yulisa, who looked better than they ever have. The tag title match seriously over-delivered and gave us the title change we have all been waiting for. Roxanne and Blair beat the crap out of each other and built to a great ending that showed that Roxanne Perez can both take and dish out a beating and is no longer just happy to be there. The North American title triple threat was also tremendous. It's a smart move to set up Dragon Lee as the man to end Dom's reign of terror while allowing Wes and Ali to move on to other things. Gable and Corbin did what was supposed to, but I didn't love the double count-out finish. I also don't like the finish to Tiffany and Thea. It's hard to sell Boston Crab as excruciating when the person doing the move can't hold on to it. This was not as good as Tiffany versus Lyra, which tells me that Tiffany needs more experienced talent to really deliver. Main event was an instant classic. Dragunov is not a human being, and the man needs a title of some description. Something tells me that Melo isn't going to like Trick factoring into the decision this time. All in all, a great show with a great crowd. Now on to No Mercy.
Yes, definitely. And then finally we go to Megan, who writes in, the Midsummer pay-per-view came through. Melo and Dragunov, as I expected it would, was a certified hood classic. The finish was interesting. Trick taking the bullet with the title in hand left the door open for a rematch. One has to wonder if Trick's desperation will be addressed later on. The NA title triple threat went the way I thought. Dom needs his mammy to win. Big fucking whoop. That said, it did the job, and Dragon Lee entering the picture is just what it needs to gain traction. Count your days, kid. The tag, he's also upset that Dom did not win. I don't know if anyone's more upset than Megan. He continues. The tag.
I think in Magan's wrestling world, just every champion will be a babyface forever. You know?
just doesn't like
no
it.
story. Just the best person is the champion.
It's fun to hate on Dom. Maybe he's just enjoying it. I agree. He says the tag match was solid. The submission match had a good ending with Chase looking after Hale's safety. Blair Davenport fucked around in Texas and found out that Roxy don't take no shit. The Weapons Wild match was good. Show after show, NXT is shaking off that 2.0 stench, and Great American Bash was another step forward. Thank you, Megan.
Hell yeah.
I agree with you on those points. And thank you, everyone, for writing in there, too. And for you guys listening to us.
That was fun.
It was a fun
night.
You know what? It was a good PLE, and that main event was definitely one of the better matches.
Do check it out if you haven't had a chance. Watch that match.
Takeover level main event, absolutely. I miss those days still, but like that one feels like that would fit in no problem as a standout match. And when it comes to WWE, the whole net of their universe, like what's a better match? There's a few from WWE this year that will stand out, and this one definitely for NXT is definitely a standout for me. This definitely blew my mind. So Mello and Dragunov killed it, but fun show. Yeah. Super chat from Megan. He says, I am invested. Don't get this twisted. Thank you for the super He's chat. Like, I like wrestling because I agree. That's what makes it fun, man. Crazy. Wrestling. What other entertainment can I go to the show and boo this man that I hate so much? It's fun. That's what I love it. So yeah. So that was NXT Great American Bash.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about anything else going on in the world of wrestling?
I think we've gone a while, but I kind of just want to say I did watch Collision last night,
okay.
and
I just want to say,
and I'm glad AEW have remembered they've got a stadium show in a few weeks.
Oh yeah, is there one?
Punk's like, yo, what the fuck? Like we're doing like maybe the biggest wrestling show of all time,
or WrestleMania
in 4 weeks, and we're heating up the Best Friends and AR Fox. Like, what the fuck is going? Dynamite was bizarre this week. I thought. I really enjoyed Collision. I thought that ladder match was awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Punk Ricky Starks thing, and the main event. Like it's so. I'm one of the people in the camp that is loving this MJF Adam Cole thing.
Me too.
And I hope they run with this for a long time. And I kind of want it to be Cole who eventually breaks MJF's heart and not the other way around, because I think we can have a lot of fun with this, and I think if we are going to Punk MJF, MJF being more of the babyface in that match, I think works really well, because Punk's getting very mixed reactions still.
Yeah, I believe that's the main event.
Yeah,
MJF and Punk. It has to be with the way he's been talking about the title, the spray paint. I'm the real world champion kind of thing. Like that just makes sense. I guess that's the big main event, and on top of that, I would imagine we start getting some announcements, but every week it's just not happening.
Like
it feels really
it's
weird.
Surely I hope that's the wake up call, and like from Dynamite onwards, because I'm sorry, this is not like you watch this week's show and it's like Gravity was on it twice. Like
sorry,
is that
who?
Is that what we're getting?
Who is that?
Is it Kenny Omega versus Gravity and AR Fox versus Hangman Page and the Best Friends versus FTR? Like, because that's what I'm getting from watching this show.
It's gonna be the biggest fucking house show of all time.
They need to pull their finger out their ass a bit, I think. And hopefully they will. But this should be their WrestleMania. Like, we've known what this SummerSlam card is going to be. Kind of, we put some of it together since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, you can see a direction things are going. They shouldn't treat this like any other pay-per-view.
No, this has to be their be-all.
The biggest show of all time.
So you gotta
probably the biggest show they're ever going to do.
You gotta like really stack it and announce things. And like you have, what, 70,000+ tickets distributed, like, you know,
it's pushing 80.
It's pushing 80, and they're videos, and they're trying to say like, hey, if you haven't got tickets, buy them, because we're trying to get to 88,000 or something like that. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, so announce some shit.
You've got it this Wednesday and Saturday. Just get half the card out there, please.
Let's go. Like, so,
at least your main event.
Yeah, I thought this week's Dynamite was easily one of my least favorites.
Of the worst, I thought. Just completely directionless and pointless. Some good matches, but like, this isn't the time to just have an exhibition show.
Yeah, this should be gearing up with some big storylines. And as much as I love the MJF, like, Adam Cole stuff, I really do, and happy it didn't just end that kind of way. Normally it does. Like, we're trying to build to a big show and they're dancing and stuff. So it's like, let's go to some.
It was so melodramatic when Cole was just stood there like, I know you're gonna do it to me. Just do it.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so silly. But I do enjoy that story, but I mean it has to go to MJF versus CM Punk at the thing. I would hope that we're getting Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at All In, but I mean there's reports online that it's Jericho Ospreay, and I love Jericho, one of my all-time favorites, but that is not it. TK.
I wonder who pushed for that match.
That better not be the match. That doesn't make sense because Gallus is kind of with both of them.
Well, I guess it's jealousy within the Gallus camp.
Already? How are you going to do that in 2 weeks?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, we still got G1 from it, so Ospreay's not going to be... That's the thing. The Omega match is the easiest to book because the story's there. Like, the G1 still going to run for a couple of weeks.
Right.
And then you've got to build this match into it. You can just do it with video packages like you did for the last one. Yeah. And now we've all seen on AEW the Forbidden Door match. So yeah. But yeah, hopefully in a week or so time. Also, it's at AEW. We know we're going to enjoy the show.
Yeah,
regardless.
I know it'll be good. I'm just like, yo, why? This should be a knock.
This
should be a home run.
Like from a business move, it's been a complete.
Is this just
like on promoting this show?
Just you won't know any match. It's going to be all surprises.
Yeah.
It's like what? Like no, tell us what's going to be on this thing. It's pretty bizarre. I'm hoping that we also get like FTR, the Bucks, just fucking do that. I don't just do the FTR don't have another team that's on that level. I'd say at this point, and that match is always
it's your biggest matches. Yeah, your biggest characters against each other.
I'm imagining we're getting Ishii versus either Shingo or Eddie Kingston versus Ishii or Shingo or one of those.
You could do them back to back. You know, you could do one in Chicago, one in London, maybe
because they're a week apart.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of travel for. But
I mean, the only fucking match they keep promoting is Darby's really wants that TNT title, and it's like, yeah, it all out, yeah, cool. There's actually a show the week before, and it's a lot bigger, and I don't know.
Found it weird, like not having the Elite on this show as well this week, like a week after them winning, whereas BCC are fine.
Yeah, just we're moving on.
Yeah.
When the Elite are like probably hurt, I don't know. But, so Dynamite 200 is this week, and they have some stuff announced, and I'd say like I'm definitely interested, and obviously we'll watch, but I'm hoping we get some announcements for the 2 pay-per-views that are coming in a month's time, if that.
I do think I enjoyed Collision. This is the first time since Collision started that I've enjoyed Collision more than Dynamite, I'd say.
Collision's had some good matches.
I thought Collision had... It's starting to like really, establish itself as like, there's a big match every week, and they're doing a good job with these. There's so many tag title matches lined up.
Yeah, I was shocked that Suzuki just came out and fought Darby, which was pretty cool. I was like, knock him out, slap him up, pretty cool. But yeah, let us know what you think. What will be at All In, and hopefully we get some match announcements in the next while. Can you believe AEW Dynamite 200?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because, like, Nitro was on years, right?
Nitro didn't make it to 300 episodes.
No, but, like, they were on for years, so they just missed weeks or something? Like, they must have missed...
like, actual Nitro wasn't that long. Like, I think AEW's, 3 years? 4?
Okay.
Like, WCW was around for a long time, but actual Nitro wasn't, like, that long, I don't think. No.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy.
So bizarre. Like, this show feels like it's only been on...
1995 to 2001. 6 years.
Crazy. Quick math. It's like me finding out how old I was for the first
How old
time.
are you?
32, by the way.
Okay. It's funny. We'll wrap up soon. But there's a bartender who has the same birthday as me in the state. I'm like, we got the same birthday. And then I met another bartender yesterday, the same birthday. Me, and then I told the other bartender, I was like, there's another bartender, we all have the same birth.
Right.
Crazy. And they go, how old are they? And I went, wait, how old am I? Like, I had to work it out that way.
So you don't know either. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
We will be doing a show on Tuesday night chatting all about the fallout from the Great American Bash. So tune in on the Post Wrestling feed here on Tuesday night after NXT goes off the air.
We've got Eddie Thorpe and Dijak to look forward to.
Okay.
The Schism interrogation, Lyra Valkyria versus JC Jane.
Stacked
episode of
Stacks will be there.
Stacks
as champion. Yeah, it's gonna be a celebration. So we'll be going live after that. However, Poisonrana, I know we didn't go live this Sunday afternoon to cover all that stuff. We won't be going live next Sunday either because we will be driving SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah.
So if you I think we'll do a show talking about maybe in the car on the way home or something. It's about a 4-hour drive. So at some point Sunday night or so, there will be a bit of a road diary SummerSlam Poisonrana weekend review show coming out next weekend with all our thoughts from SummerSlam. And anyone in the Toronto area going to Detroit, any Detroiters out there, we will be in the area. We'll probably be hitting a few bars around the venue before and after. So, and I'll be at GCW with John and Way are going on the Friday night as well, with B, Sino, and Frank are also showing up to Detroit because they're hardcore. They vacation in Detroit. So we'll be at GCW and SummerSlam next weekend. So hit us up if you're going to attend those shows and want to meet up or whatever. We're totally cool and we'd love to do that. And you want to hear even more of us, patreon.com/PoisonRana. You want to buy us a beer and you can't make it? Well, buy yourself some podcasts. We just did a best match ever Golden Lovers show where we looked at the entire story of Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. It was a fantastic podcast. I got to pat ourselves on the back for that one. Not to be outdone by Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a great week. So happy
Shark Week.
Yeah.
Still, it's just finished.
It's
but yeah,
just finished, but
Shark Week's forever.
We reviewed Jaws in its entirety and talked about shark facts, and we go off the rails as usual, and that was a whole lot of fun. But those are two shows from this week. As you mentioned, we got SummerSlam 92 out this week in time for SummerSlam next weekend. So lots of shows, and it's only $5 for a whole month's access. So go support some local small content creators and check out all the podcasts that we do, and follow us on all the social media stuff. Poisonrana in your podcast app, Poisonrana.ca for the links of everything that we do. And I myself, Braden Herrington, Twitter, Instagram, or sorry, X, as Booker kept going off about. Elon's just paying him. I am at the Brady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe and keep on bashing.
Ahoy!
Poisonrana.